His mom will tell him, I've seen great people, I've worked for great people because his mom did menial jobs for rich people. And I've seen the way they behave. You too can be there. You too can do it. And that pushed him to give his best. Hi guys! Welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite dimmailoka. For those of you that are seeing me for the first time, I am a content creator that makes videos talking all about God, finance, self-development, and sharing my unique journey with all of you. All this to make you and I better people. So if this is something that you are interested in, please hit the subscribe button and join the family. We are so happy to have you around. How are you doing, everyone? So today we are going to be reviewing Ben Carson's Think Big. This is my first time doing a book review, guys. Honestly, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous, but I guess we should do this, right? Okay, so this book, I've read it 3 times. The first time was when I was in high school. Shout out to my best friend, Rita. She was the one that gave me this book, and honestly, I was inspired. The second time I read it was when I was going to computer lessons, about a year after I graduated from high school. And then the third time was just a few days ago. And honestly, every time I read this book, it feels as if I unearth more and more knowledge from it. This book is so inspirational, and I want to share as much as I can some of the lessons we can learn from Ben Carson's Think Big. So if any of you have read this book, how was it? Hope it was as good as I say. Okay, so with that being said, let's get right into this video. One of the central themes in Ben Carson's Think Big is to recognize people that are relegated to the background. He spoke about this extensively in this book. The surgery that made him famous, the separation of the Binder Siamese twins. I don't know if I get the pronunciation right, but I'm just going to put it here on the screen. That surgery made him popular. But through this book, I discovered that he performed that surgery with 69 other people. That's such a large number of people. But he was the only one that was recognized. So in this book, Ben Carson tried as much as possible to give credits to people who are at the background, people who don't get as much recognition as they deserve. And that also speaks to every one of us here. There are a lot of people who might have pushed us consciously and unconsciously through our journey, and when we attain some level of success, in fact at any level, let's not forget to recognize these people and give them credit as much as we can, right? And this also speaks to when we watch our celebrities. We only see them, but behind them there is a whole team that makes everything possible. For example, let's say a concert is to be held, right? You know that the stage has to be set. The artist must learn how he must perform there. His dressing, people are going to put it together. That's a whole lot of things that goes on behind the scene that we often don't regularly see it, right? So in this book, Ben Carson tried as much as possible to give people who are behind his success as much credit as they deserve. And also, we should learn that from him. Another thing he really talked extensively about is giving one's best. Yes, in whatever he did, he tried as much as possible to give his best. He was the top student in his school at that time. Even when he went to college, he has to compete with more brighter students, but wherever he finds himself, he tried as much as possible to give his best. And that speaks to all of us. Whatever job we undertake, let's give our best. And his mother was the one that inspired this mindset in him. His mom will always say, Ben, you can do it. Only you can do better. His mom will tell him, I've seen great people, I've worked for great people because his mom did menial jobs for rich people. And I've seen the way they behave. You too can be there. You too can do it. And that pushed him to give his best. So give your best. Only you can do it better. The next thing we can discover from this book is the concept of the alternative if we do nothing. So Ben Carson learned this from Don Long, the head of neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital where he worked, right? Whenever he has to perform a surgery that has never been performed before, or to treat people that other surgeons has rejected and seen their case that nothing can be done, so they should go home, make the patient comfortable so that they can die peacefully, right? But whenever he encounters such cases, sometimes he do try to see what he can do. And before he tries, one thing always comes to his mind. Ben, think of the alternative if we do nothing. And at a time, he said that he will hear Don Long's exact voice say it's like the person he learned this from, right? Look at the alternative if we do nothing. So work on your dream, okay? Get out of your comfort zone. Take risks. Look at the alternative if we do nothing. If we do nothing, then nothing will change. We will end up living an ordinary, miserable life. So I just want this to stick with you because this really stuck with me. Whenever I encounter new challenges or have to do something out of the box, something that I'm not used to doing, right? This will always come to my mind. Like, Dimma, think of the alternative if you do nothing. So I hope that we all will approach life through that lens. Think of the alternative if I don't work on my dreams. Think of the alternative if I just do nothing. Then my life won't change, right? One of the strongest messages that Ben Carson tries to pass on through this book is the power of self-belief. Before 5th grade, Ben Carson was at the bottom of his class. He was a dumb kid. Like, everyone knows that Ben is such a dumb kid. He's always the last in his class. Like, everyone else is more intelligent than him. But his mom taught him something. His mom told him, okay, read 2 books a week and then you have to summarize it and tell me what you learned from it. At first, Ben Carson hated this because that means screen time will be reduced and he will have little or no time to play with his friends. That really hurt him. But when he started doing that, he started enjoying it. He started reading a variety of books and started contributing in the classroom. Before you know it, he got at the top of his class. Like, no one can compete with him again. And that really spoke to him. That really showed him that he can just do anything. So far he sets his mind on it, he can achieve. Ben Carson's Think Big tries to highlight the importance and the power of self-belief. So believe in yourself. Like, take on opportunities, take on new challenges. Like, go out there and do whatever it is that you are so passionate about. Start chasing your dream, right? Because you can do it. You can achieve. Imagine someone who is at the bottom of the class, like, climb to be at the top. That is so much power. That speaks volume. That will show you that we can just do anything we set our minds on. Like, we can achieve. There is no limit to what we can do. The next is the true meaning of knowledge. Ben Carson emphasized that education opens the door to endless possibilities. Ben Carson shared an experience in this book that really explained to him the true meaning of knowledge, because sometimes I think we get the wrong idea of what knowledge is. When Ben Carson came at the top of his class, at a time he became so overbearing because he wanted everyone else to know that he's so brilliant, that he knows the answer to every question. He wanted everyone around him to know that he knows a lot. So whenever they write tests or exam in class, and then someone became the best student in that test or exam, he will see himself as a failure. Even if that person surpasses him with just a mark, he will see himself as a failure. He was just learning so as to be at the top of his class, to show everyone else that he's so brilliant. But that is not what knowledge is all about. Most of us here read our books so that we can just pass exams and be at the top of our class and show everyone else that we can do better. But aside from class work, we just know nothing. He also emphasizes on the need to read, like read variety of books. Don't see any knowledge as a waste. I remember in high school, whenever I'm being taught math, because I hate math so much, I would always say to myself, oh, then like, why do I have to learn about all these figures? Like, how can this solve my problem? But right now, I started enjoying math. Like, guys, surprisingly, me that detests mathematics so much, I started liking math and just discovered that it is not as complicated as I always think. No knowledge is a waste, yes. That knowledge you might have gained from just a course that isn't your focus might save you tomorrow. He talked about how he became a resident in Johns Hopkins because of his knowledge about music. The person interviewed him, talked about music, and then both of them started talking about it, and then he knew a lot about it, so he shared his knowledge, and that was it for him. Music has no relationship with medicine. Talk more of neurosurgery. Like, do you know how heavy this word is and the job is actually? But he was able to become a resident there because of his knowledge about something that is completely unrelated to his field of study. So just read variety of books. It widens your intellectual horizon. It makes you a better person. You don't know the knowledge you might need to know. Like when I hear people say, oh, I don't need this, like Ben Carson asks in this book, how do you even know that you don't need it? How? So this is the true meaning of knowledge and read. Read widely, read variety of books, okay? And also he talked about the misconception that we read too much. He said that we can never read too much, that if we can read all the books in this world, that our brain can comprehend it, that we can never read too much. So he's the doctor of brain, of course. That is a verifiable truth. You can go browse that also. So that shows that we don't even read too much. So don't feel like, oh, I read too much. No, you haven't even started reading yet, okay? So calm down. The next step is think beyond limitations. Ben Carson encourages people to think big. Think beyond the immediate limits. Think beyond your society and circumstance. I've been saying this here, and thank God Ben Carson is still saying the same thing. Ben Carson did not come from a rich home. He came from a broken home. His mom has to do all sorts of menial jobs to put food on the table. Jobs like cleaning, babysitting, and the likes of it. He was a dumb kid till 5th grade when that transformation happened in his life. So Ben Carson is just like every other person. Ben Carson encountered struggles. He did not have a glamorous beginning. But guess what? He was able to build something for himself. Okay, so think beyond your limitations. Don't think that because you're coming from such a humble place, then you can't amount to anything. No, you can. And he also talked about some limits we do place on ourselves. For example, when we talk about blacks, Ben Carson is a black. People that are blacks, we usually see ourselves as the marginalized group. But he said that once you have value, once you are so good and the best in whatever you do, people will come for you. So don't use your limitations as an excuse. Don't say, oh, I'm black, it's hard to start a business in America. Why don't you try? Why don't you think beyond your limitations? There are a lot of black people who have succeeded in whatever they do. Look at him, Ben Carson is a black person. Look at Oprah Winfrey. Barack Obama was the first black president of a country like America. He's a black man. Look at Rihanna. Look at what she's doing in the music industry and in the beauty industry. Look at Naomi Campbell. So you can say that there's actually no limitations except the ones we place on ourselves. Those limitations are there. I will not act as if the blacks are not marginalized or say, oh, they are being treated well. Of course not. But actually, you can win, right? Ben Carson tries to tell us that the only limit to success is often effort. We don't even put effort. We don't give our best. So this book is trying to tell us that once we give our best, we become indispensable. Just get over any limitation, whether it's racism, background, broken home, bad childhood, like whatever it is. Think beyond it and know that you can achieve success. The next one, which is I think my favorite, is to discover your talent. Ben Carson, through his book, says that everyone mustn't be a basketballer. All these popular professions, everyone wants to be an actress or a singer or a footballer or a writer, or all these popular professions. Ben Carson believed that each and every one of us has a calling, right? So look within yourself and discover what your talent is. What is your strength? What is that thing that you are so good at? What is that thing that when you do it, you don't even see it as a job, you enjoy it? Like, look inside of you and discover your unique talents. Everyone mustn't be a footballer. Everyone mustn't be an actress, right? Ben Carson believes that each and every one of us has distinct talents, and we should try as much as possible to tap into that potential, because that is where our strength lies, and that is where success lies. The best thing I love about this book and Ben Carson is his love for God. I love it when influential people speak about God. When influential people talk about God, they influence a large number of people, so that way they can bring souls to Christ. And it's not just people that talk about God, but influential people that talk about Jesus Christ specifically. Yes, because a lot of different religions and different beliefs talk about God. Like God, everyone says God, right? But once that person talks about Jesus Christ, like, it means a lot to me. And that also assures me that you can be at the top and still be on God's side. So the best thing I love about this book is how Ben Carson talks about God. He told us to go to God more frequently. Most times we think that some things are so trivial that we can get over it, but actually it's good to go to God. Like, go to God for virtually everything. Go to God more frequently. That was his word, and I'm not going to change it. So the message here is go to God more frequently. And another thing he said is this: do your best and let God do the rest. When we rely on our relationship with God, we become more capable individuals. Just give your best and leave the rest for God. He shared a couple of experiences in this book. Like, if you can, you read it. He shared a couple of experiences in this book where God just showed up. He just tried his best, and it seems as if he's losing the patience, but God just showed up and did his thing. He also shared the story of how he used to have anger issues, until one day when he almost stabbed a friend over a minor disagreement. That day he went back and he was like, God, please help me to work on this. Please help me to get over this. I don't like this anymore. And God showed up. And he's saying that right now, he's no more the person that has anger issues. So Ben Carson, through his book, is trying to let us know that we should just go to God. Like, what he's saying here, in summary, we should just go to God. Go to God, be on his side. He will always show up for you. He will always be there for you. Okay? So with that being said, this is the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I did. And guys, this is my first time reviewing a book. So tell me, how is it? Like, rate me in the comment section. I really want to hear about it. So make sure you take care of yourself. Jesus loves you. Okay? So with that being said, we've come to the end of this video. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, guys. It helps the channel and it helps me as well. You see, your favorite is dimmailoka, and it's been great with you guys. Until next time, don't forget to stay positive and stay cheeky. Bye.